Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a delicious boiler full of meatball stew. This meatball stew is a delicious meal you can have any time of the year, and the reasons for that: you can do it in your slow cooker, you could make it in your Instant Pot, you could make it in the oven. And today I'm going to show you how to make it with the boiler and just going slow cooking it. And if you're interested in that, let's get started. So what we'll start with first, adding in 5 cups of beef broth or stock into my boiler. And what I got here that I'm going to be putting in that delicious homemade broth is some chunk carrots, turnips, which is rutabaga. I got some parsnip. Parsnip is nice and sweet. I got some celery, and what I did was peel and chop it and add some cold water. Now I'm going to drain that off and add that to my boiler, just like that. I got 4 fresh bay leaves here. I'm going to be tossing this right on into the pot. I'm also going to be using some fresh thyme. I'll put a couple of stalks in there like that. And we're going to get this boiling, and I'm going to show you what's next. And before I start putting our boiler on to get boiling, I'm going to be putting in a half a teaspoonful of black pepper, half a teaspoonful of onion powder, and a half a teaspoonful of sea salt. And I'm going to start this now boiling. We're going to get making our meatballs. We got to fry up some onions. We'll talk about that. So let's get going. I got about 2 pounds of lean ground beef. I'm going to be putting the half a teaspoonful of black pepper, half a teaspoonful of my onion powder, and a half a teaspoonful of sea salt. Of course, some of that fresh thyme. If you don't have fresh thyme, you could use the dried thyme. That's fine. I always use what I got available, not necessarily going out and getting more. We're going to be using a tablespoonful of Worcestershire sauce. I may be pronouncing that wrong, forgive me. And 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, you could use garlic powder, or you could use the already minced garlic. And that's all you need to do there. So what we need to do now is, with your clean hand, mix in all of those seasonings to your ground beef. Don't overmix it. And we'll get start frying this now, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make our meatballs. We're going to get them frying in the skillet. I'm going to put in about a tablespoonful of olive oil and a tablespoonful of butter, and get that melting down there, and make the meatballs the size that you would like it in your stew. I just got it your regular meatball here. You can have them smaller, and well, much bigger it would be too much, but that's all you need, about 2 tablespoonfuls of ground beef with the seasonings. And that's all you need to do there. So when the frying pan got everything melted down and starting to get nice and hot, add in your meatballs. Don't overcrowd your pan, and again, make them the size that you'd like to have in your stew. And that's all you need to do there. Let them go a golden brown. So when it starts to get a golden brown on one side, you just flip them over like that until they're a nice golden brown on the other side. That's all. So after you've got the meatballs cooked on all sides, and it's starting to get a nice golden brown, we're going to take them off now and start frying our onions. So we'll take these off, we'll get our onions in there, but remember, if you don't want to cook your meatball stew in the boiler and you want to do it in your slow cooker, pre-fry the ground beef or the meatballs first before you put it all into the slow cooker or the Instant Pot, And then the same thing with the oven. Once you've got it all in there together, it's got the same cooking time. So I'm going to take these off now and we'll start frying our onions in the same pan. So what you're going to do is cut up one large onion, and if you don't want onions, you could use onion powder. And I'm also going to be frying in there some small pearl onions, and the red onions these are, but you can also use the yellow ones. And we're going to add in another little bit of butter, get that buttery taste on there, and let's get that frying. Now I've lost one of my onions. I'm going to be putting a little bit of pepper over the top and some more thyme. I'm not going to be using any salt because we got enough in the boiler and enough in with the meatballs. Just about a teaspoonful here, all in total. And let that cook. Add another little small piece of butter. And then what we're going to do now is make a little bit of a roux. You can see the onions are starting to get golden brown, but I really just want them a clear colour, like they're cooked, more or less. We're going to put about 2 to 3 tablespoonfuls of flour into our frying pan. I'm going to cook that around for just a moment. And then we're going to add in a couple of scoops of the hot broth from our already cooked stew over to the side. So we're just going to do about 3 of these. So all you got to do then is just stir that around until you see that it's starting to get a little thick. Now we're going to pour it over into our boiler. So what we'll do now, we'll pour all of this into our boiler. Now there was about a 15-minute cooking time on those vegetables, 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can, I guess, add in your onions. I'll do the rest of that now in a second, and add in your meatballs. Stir in. So you stir all of those ingredients there together, the meatballs and of course into the vegetables. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador we like to use gravy browning when we're making gravies and stews and such. Put about 1 to 2 drops, that was a big drop there, because it really turns the color quick. You could use what browning you got available. And I'm going to also be putting in there about a 1/4 cup of frozen green peas, and we'll stir all of that in. So after you stir all of that in, you're going to take out your bay leaves and any of the leaves from, of course, your thyme. We're going to cover it with our lid and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And after you've taken the bay leaves out and of course any of the stalks from the thyme, if you're using fresh, like I said, cover it, let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you're cooking it in the slow cooker, just put it on low, forget about it till you're ready to take it out for supper. In the oven, cooking time would be about 45 minutes to 1 hour, all of it together on about a 300 Fahrenheit heat. And for this here is just on a low to medium. So, and if you need some more thickening, all you got to do is make up the flour again and add some more. But this is going to be just perfect. I'll show you now. I'm going to take up a nice bowl. And after when you've checked your stew and you want it to see if it's thick enough for you, and you want to make some more roux, just do about a teaspoonful of flour, mix it with about a 1/4 cup of water just to have a little bit more of a paste if you want to add it to your broth. Now I'm going to take down my boiler and scoop up a nice taste. Now the big reveal. Oh my gosh, just look, Raymond. I cannot wait to have a taste of this, and I know when you guys make yours, you're going to be equally as excited. Now just look, all of that delicious goodness. Also, I'm going to add in a little bit more thyme to my bowl of stew. I know Raymond is over there waiting for his, and you're going to get it pretty soon there, Raymond.
Oh, thank you.
I am going to get a little taste of the sauce and the turnip, because turnip is my favorite. Drop the spoon, delicious. And also, I am serving it today with our braided breadsticks. So delicious. So good. I'm so excited for you guys to make your baller of our meatball stew, whichever way you decide on making it. Of course, I like doing it this way if I'm home and I'm not in no rush. But if I'm not home and I want to do it in my slow cooker, and then in the evening I can do it in the oven. So which way is good for you? That's the way you're going to make it. I'm also going to provide the recipe for you, and it's under this link. Just hit the see more, or it could be an arrow pointing down. It will open up. If you can't find it there, look on www.bonitaskitchen.com and just search in the search bar, and as well on our Facebook page. If you're joining us here today for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. We got over 300 delicious recipes, baking and I guess meals, stews, soups, breads that you may like to make. And to all of our viewers, your time is precious. Thank you for sharing it with us today. From our kitchen to yours, thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.
Always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen.
Perfect.
To yours.